Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. In this very special occasion, let us give gratitude to the Almighty God, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, because of His mercy, so we can gather in this meeting. Also, may peace always be given to our Prophet Muhammad SAW. Allahumma sholli wa sallim wa barik alaik, who has guided us from the darkness to the brightness, from the stupidity to the cleverness, from Jahiliyah era to the Islamiyah era, namely Islamic religion that we love. The Honorable Mem Ayu Indari SPD Hum as a lecturer in constructive and error analysis subject. I am from group 6, and let me introduce my member. First, me Filzafika, and two of my friends is Ramayuni Harahap and Vivi Lestari. We'll be presenting our material today entitled Misplaced Word or Praise. Without any further ado, let us come to the first subtopic. Okay, the first subtopic will be explained by me. The title is, what is misplaced word or praise? A misplaced word is a word that is improperly separated from the word it modifies or describes. Because of the separation, sentences with this error often sound awkward, ridiculous, or confusing. Furthermore, they can be downright illogical. And what is misplaced praise? Misplaced praise may cause a sentence to sound awkward and may create a meaning that does not make sense. The problem sentences below contain misplaced phrases that modify the wrong nouns. To fix the errors and clarify the meaning, put the phrases next to the noun they are supposed to modify.
Okay, thank you, moderator. I'm explaining about placement of modifier. Read through the following sentence, paying attention to the word shortly. The first, he sweeps the floor shortly after cutting his hair, and the second, he swept the floor after shortly cutting his hair, and the last, he swept the floor after cutting his hair shortly. In sentence 1, Charlie described the way he swept the floor. In sentence 2, it described the way he cut his hair. In sentence 3, it's unclear what Charlie described. Nothing changed among the third sentence except the placement of the modifier shortly. In English, the placement of modifiers can strongly impact the sentence. Okay, what are modifiers? To start, here's a reference or the topic of modifiers. A modifier is a word, a phrase, or clause that provides extra information about a particular word. Some other definitions are necessary for understanding the placement of modifiers. Here's an overview of the key terms in progress. A phrase is a unit of one or more words that adds meaning to a clause or sentence. A clause is a meaningful group of words made up of a subject and a predicate. The subject of a sentence is what the sentence is about. It primarily consists of a noun or pronoun. The predicate of a sentence is what describes the subject. It primarily consists of a verb. An adjective is a word that modifies a noun or pronoun. An adverb is a word that modifies a verb, adjective, or another adverb. The head or head word of a modifier is the word being modifier. Example of the placement of modifiers. Identifying the role of a modifier, we have to evaluate its position in a sentence. To analyze a modifier, follow the step. Identify the modifier's head. What is being modified by this word, a phrase, or clause? To identify the head, ask yourself, what does the modifier describe? The answer to this question is the modifier's head. The head is usually immediately before or after the modifier. Decide whether the modifier is adjectival or adverbial. Remember, an adjectival modifier modifies a noun or pronoun. An adverbial modifier modifies a verb, adjective, or adverb. Decide whether the placement of the modifier is clear and logical. Are the modifier and the head clearly connected in the sentence? If not, the modifier might be misplaced. Okay, thank you. Back to moderator.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Sofia Lestari. And the next material explain about dangling modifiers. A dangling modifiers is a phrase or clause that is not clearly and logically related to the word or words it modifies. Two notes about dangling modifiers. Number 1. Unlike a misplaced modifier, a dangling modifier cannot be corrected by simply moving it to a different place in a sentence. Number 2. In most cases, the dangling modifier appears at the beginning of the sentence, although it can also come at the end. Sometimes the dangling modifier's error occurs because the sentence fails to specify anything to which the modifier can refer. Example: looking toward the west, a final shaped cloud stirred up dust. The dangling modifier is looking towards the west. The sentence does not specify who is looking towards the west. In fact, there is nothing at all in the sentence to which the modifying phrase looking toward the west and logically refer. Since the modifier looking toward the west is sitting next to the final shaped cloud, the sentence suggests that the cloud is doing the looking. Example number 2. When 9 years old, my mother enrolled in media school. The dangling modifier is when 9 years old. The sentence means that my mother enrolled in medical when she was 9 years old. At another times, the dangling modifier is placed next to the wrong noun or noun substitute. And the next example is walking to the movies. The cloudburst drenched him. The dangling modifier is walking to the movies because the placement of walking to the movies. This sentence suggests that the cloudburst is walking to the movies even though a possible walker, Jim, is mentioned later. And the next example, having having been fixed the night before, Priscilla could use the car. The dangling modifier is having been fixed the night before. Since having been fixed the night before is placed next to Priscilla, the sentence means that Priscilla was fixed the night before. As the above example show, dangling modifier result in inaccurate and sometimes ludicrous statements. How to correct dangling modifiers? Dangling modifiers may be corrected into general ways. Corrected methods when number 1. Leave the modifier as it is. Number 2. Change the main part of the sentence so that it begins with the term actually modified. Number 3. This change will put the modifier next to the term it modifies. Choose learning dangling modifiers. Looking toward the west, a final shape called stirred up dust. The dangling modifier is looking toward the west. May be corrected to I know the sentence means that I was looking toward the worst. Using the same methods, things dangling modifiers. Walking to the movies, the Colbert's dance gym. The dangling modifiers is walking to the movies. May be corrected to gym. No, the sentence means that Jim was danced by the Colberts. Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.